In this video, I'd like to look at some bash scripts that use the command mkdir to make a directory and cd to change the directory. And we'll look at our old friend list, but we will add the capital R option, which is the recursive option, to the list command. Okay, so let's start off simply and just do a mkdir and see what was there before and thereafter. So in this little script here in line 2, we are doing an ls sale. We're seeing what's there when we just start. There won't be much. In this emulator, we're imagining that the script we're running is in that file. So we'll see the script. And then I'm going to echo out this dashed line just as a separator. I'm going to make a directory, run the mkdir command and make a new directory called new_folder. And then do ls again, and we will see the new directory. So we're going to see, since we're doing ls sale with A, we're going to see everything. So the first time we're going to see dot, double dot, and the bash script. And then after we make the directory, we should see the dot, the double dot, the bash script, and the new folder. And there it is. So we see the dot, the double dot, and the main.sh script. And then there's my dashed line, and then we see the dot, the double dot, the main.sh script, and the new _ folder. We see it was assigned an inode. We see because of the L option, we see the long listing. We see it starts with a D, so we know that it's a directory. And there you have it. So that is the first script I wanted to show you. Now we'll do a little bit more. So move over to the next one. So start similarly, just to start off with the script and run an ls and see the dot, the double dot, and the bash script. And then create a new folder. This time I'm calling it new folder 2. And then run the ls sale again. And so we'll see, as we did before, now we'll have the dot, the double dot, this bash script, and the new folder. And then the new part here is line 8, where we say cd new _folder 2. That was a name that we made in line 4. And so cd is change directory. We are moving in to the directory. So right now we are working, when we're working with folders and files in general, directories or folders, I want to use those terms fairly interchangeably. You can talk about paths. You can talk about relative paths or full paths. And in here, when we don't have any slashes, when we just are referring to files and directories by just simple names, then we are working with relative paths. So in line 4, we make a directory relative to where we are. So we're making a subdirectory of the current directory. In 8 with the cd, we are moving into that subdirectory. And then in 9, we're running the ls again, and ls tells us the contents of the current directory. So we've just made this directory in 4, and then we moved into it in 8. So there's nothing here. But when you make a directory, since we have the A in the option of the ls, we're seeing everything, even the hidden stuff. And whenever we have a directory, we know we always have the dot and the double dot, sort of referring to the directory itself and its parent. So there we have it, the first ls sale at dot, double dot, and main.sh, the script. The second sale after we've made the new folder 2 says that there's the dot, the double dot, the main.sh script, and then the directory we just made, the new _folder 2, where we have the L option in our sale, which is the long listing. So we see the sort of permission string there, and we see that the permission string for new _folder 2 begins with a D. So it is indeed a directory, and it was assigned an inode, so we can identify it. Then we do, what do we do? In 8, we move into that new folder, and then we do the ls sale. So now we have moved into the folder, and we see the dot and the double dot. And so if you look at the inode of the dot, it is the 258, which was from the sale before, the new folder. And so when we move into that folder, the folder itself has the inode. So that makes sense that the new folder in the middle ls has an inode of 258. Then we moved into it, and dot refers to the file, to the directory we're in, and it has the 258. And then the directory we were in the first two LSs has an inode of 256, and then we moved into our subdirectory. So now the dot in the subdirectory that has a 256. So that all sort of makes sense. That, you know, when we add the inode, then we can see a little bit more what this dot and double dot is doing, referring to parent directories and so on. Okay, what is our last script? We're going to add one more level here of things we're doing in this little simple scheme. So I'm going to here, again, make a directory. So I skipped the first ls sale. I'm not going to show you the beginning. You've seen it twice now. We're going to make a directory, and then we'll do the ls sale. Then we're going to move into that directory, and we're going to do an ls sale. So we'll see it's a new directory and the dot and the double dot. Then in 10, I just run, just for the sake of having something, I'm running a date command and putting the output of the date command into a file, new_date.txt. And in 11, I'm doing it again, but I'm using this sort of, I'll call it the double arrow. So I'm appending, so I will have two dates in that text file. In 12, so now there's a file in that subdirectory. In 12, we're doing a cd command followed by dot dot. Dot dot is our reference to the parent. So we're changing the directory, and dot dot means that we're moving up a level back to the original directory. So we started off in the original directory, we made a new one, we moved into that new subdirectory, and now we're moving out of it with line 12, cd dot dot, and there's a space there, cd space dot dot. Don't miss, if you were writing the code, don't miss the dot, don't miss the space. And then we're doing backup in the original directory, and ls minus sale with a capital R. And so this is a new option in our ls, and it is a recursive option. So we're going to look at the contents of the main directory, but because of the recursive option, we are going to also look at the contents of any subdirectories. So let's run that. So we start off, we made the new directory, and we ran the ls sale. So in the original directory, we have dot, double dot, the script main.sh, and the new folder. Then in line 6, we moved into the new folder and ran an ls, and there was no content at that stage, so it was dot and double dot. Then we made, while we were there, we made a new file. So there's no reference to a path here, so we're working relative. So when we say we give a file name, it is relative to where we are. We're in the subdirectory. So this file is made in the subdirectory. I didn't look at the contents of that file. I just made the file. Then in 12, I cd dot dot, I move up out of the folder. And so my third listings. So all my LSs are separated by these double dash line. So the last executable command is ls minus sale capital R, and that's what you see after that dash line. And what do we see? The contents of the directory we started in are dot, double dot, the bash script main.sh, and the new folder. And then because of the recursive part, then it's showing us the contents of the new folder. And the contents of the new folder, again, because it's sale, because of the A, we see the hidden stuff, we see the dot and double dot, but we also see that that file with the date information that we made in it. Okay, So those are the scripts I wanted to show you. Thanks much for your